Hey everybody, this is Josh Otten with JOG Real Estate and Associates. Today, I want to talk about the offer. Most importantly, price and terms. I just went through this yesterday with a buyer, so it's top of my mind right now. So if you're a buyer here in San Diego County and you're at the beginning stages of looking for your next real estate adventure, or you're a first-time home buyer looking for an investment property, this will ring true for all of those different situations. The offer. First and foremost, you really want to understand the market conditions. A realtor is great for that. Market conditions, what I mean by that is you really want to understand, is it a seller's market? Is it a buyer's market? Or is it somewhere in between, which is usually where it is. You want to know if the market is trending up or trending down. All of these things will help you understand what a home is worth. Second thing is, you want to test the temperature of the property. What I mean by that is each specific property is going to be in a different situation. Like not all 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes are listed at X price and they sell in X days. Those are averages, but you really want to understand what that one house is going through. So I call it the temperature. One is, what is the listing price? 2 is, how many days has it been on the market? So has it been on the market for 3 days or has it been on the market for 300 days? You want to know that. Next thing is you want to know if there's been any price reductions. If they've reduced the price, they obviously started too high. They weren't getting enough bites and they've reduced the price to lure in more buyers, right? And if you have a good realtor, they will also find out why the sellers are moving. So you really want to understand the motivation of the sellers. Are they desperate? Are they just testing for price? Do they really not have to move? These are different things that you want to know so that you can make the right decision for that specific property, okay? So now let's get to the offer. The offer is, it's something called the Residential Purchase Agreement, or the RPA. It's 10 pages, and this is where you really get to craft and personalize your offer based on the house, but also based on your motivation, your timing, and your situation, right? And everything in this RPA comes down to price. This is probably worth writing down. Price and terms, and it's a balance of both. In a seller's market, if it's an extremely high seller's market, they're gonna request that you give them their price and their terms. In a buyer's market where sellers are desperate, the buyers are gonna get their price and their terms. So those are extreme examples. And I think that most of the time the market is somewhere in between. So you have to figure out where that is. So first, I want to talk about price. What's the property worth to you is important, right? So you really have to find out what that property is worth to you. If you absolutely love the property, you might be willing to spend a little bit more to have your first choice in something you're going to live in for the next 20 years, right? The question is, if you're getting a loan, will the house appraise at that price? So one of the things that the lender will want to do is send out an appraiser who's a third party who will come out and give their opinion of what the house is worth. So let's just say, for example, you offer $410,000 for the property. The appraiser comes out and says it's only worth $400,000, right? So you and the seller are going to have to negotiate who's going to pay that extra $10,000. Are they going to drop the price, or are you going to pay the extra, right? Number 2, the earnest money deposit. So it's also known as the down payment or the EMD. But this is how much money you are willing to put towards your down payment. So a lot of times it's 1%, sometimes 2%, sometimes 3%. But on a $400,000 house, if you put down $4,000, the seller's going to be like, wow, they put down 1%. That's great. If you put down 2%, you put down $8,000, that shows you that you're a lot more motivated. There's a lot of ways as a buyer to get that money back, but this just shows to the seller how motivated you are from day one. Number 3, how soon can you close? So you probably all heard the term escrow. Usually it's a standard 30 days or a couple days after these days, or 45 or 60. So if the seller is super motivated, they're going to want to see a shorter time frame, right? Because as a buyer, you have a million ways to get out of a contract. They want to see a shortened sales cycle so that they can get their money faster and move on to wherever they're going. One thing I did want to mention is part of the reason cash buyers today are so attractive to sellers because they can usually close in 7 days. So it's 7 days to get their money versus 30 to get your money if you're using a loan. Fourth in terms is contingency removal. So there's 3 major contingencies, at least standard contingencies, that come on the residential purchase agreement. And these are to protect buyers. So as a buyer, you have 17 days to get your home inspections done. You can get the roof checked, you can get the plumbing checked, you can get the electrical checked. Or what most people do is they get a general home inspection. So a home inspector will come spend 2 to 3 hours at your property or at the property with you there and write down anything that's wrong with the property. That's their job, legally. The other one that's 17 days is the appraisal contingency. So you have 17 days for the lender to order the appraiser to go out to the property and price it at what they think the property is worth. Lenders don't like to give you money for homes that aren't worth what you're trying to buy it for. Does that make sense? Okay. The last one is the loan contingency. So that gives the lender 21 days to get your loan package ready and make sure that you can actually qualify for that loan. You already have your pre-approval, I hope, but this just makes sure that they go through all the steps, dig every piece of dirt that needs to get dug, and make sure that you can buy that home. Quick side note, if the appraisal doesn't come in at price, you can back out of the deal. No harm, no foul, you get your earnest money deposit back. If the home inspector comes in and says there's a cracked foundation, there's a window that's cracked or whatever, you find out something on that report that you don't like, you can back out for any reason. But one thing is, when you are making these offers to home sellers, as a buyer, you can shorten those time periods. So instead of 17 days, you can bring it down to 10, which a seller's gonna like. And if you're working with an experienced agent, they can easily get all of those answers to you within 10 days. Same with the appraisal. So something to think about in terms when making your offer. So just to recap, number one, when you're making offers and you're a buyer in the San Diego real estate economy, know the market. Understand where it's going. Is it a seller's market? Is it a buyer's market? Number two, know the house. Have your agent do their homework, find out how many days on the market, sales price reductions, why the seller is moving. We went over those. Number three, truly understand what the house is worth to you. I know we all watch HGTV and we all want to undercut a seller. I see so many buyers though that lose out on their first choice over $4,000 and they end up buying a house that's not as good, but they got their price, right? Which brings us to the fourth point, which is make an offer that wins you the house. These days, right now, at where the market is, for example, sellers have a lot of leverage because there's a lot of buyers, not a lot of listings. So you're not really competing with the seller, you're competing with all the other buyers that want that house as well. So make sure you make an offer that wins you the house, okay? The way that you do all of this is you do it with the right blend of price and terms. So a great real estate agent will help you do this and get you the house you want, right? So they'll be honest and forthcoming about the market, the home, your situation, the situation of the sellers specifically. So a great real estate agent will help you win a house. That's all there is to it. And I happen to know a couple. That's a shameless plug. But anyways, I hope this was helpful. We'll have more videos coming soon about further down the road in the process. But this is about making an offer. So make sure your price and your terms are balanced. This is Josh Otten with JOG Real Estate & Associates. Thanks so much for watching. You can call me anytime direct at 858-717-6619 or find us on Facebook at JOG Realtors. Talk to you soon.